being pregnant in 40s, generally it's very challenging, and women feel that, once you're in 40s and if you've not planned a pregnancy, a lot of women give up because they think that probably it's too late. Maybe physically they're not prepared for it. But you got into motherhood in 40s, and you're a perfect example for people to actually see, learn, get inspired. That ending your 30s doesn't mean that you cannot pursue your dream of becoming a mother. How was your journey?
Well, the truth has to be spoken. It's always easy to have a baby earlier in life. It's much, much easier for a younger girl to have a baby. The kind of uh, things that you have to deal with in 40s is a lot. So you have to be a very, very strong and a person of extreme belief, to be determined. And we have science helping you in today's times. And I think more than science, I'm a believer. I believe there's a God up there. And if you really manifest something, it's going to happen. And the pregnancy was still okay. It was something which is beautiful. I have great memories of it. But it was the IVF process that was physically and mentally, it's exhausting. It's at times it's disappointing. But at the end, you remember the end when it's so rewarding, and I have such a beautiful, gorgeous girl. So I don't mind, all the hardships that I went through actually was worth it. I feel that, now when I see Devi, I was like, I can't complain at all.
So I think eventually when mothers kind of imagine the baby, holding the baby in their arms for the first time, I think that gives all the power and energy to plan a pregnancy.
I think it starts right from the time she's inside you. I think the connection that you build with your baby from the day you get to know that she's there or the baby's there, I think that's a very unsaid bond which is not very spoken about. It's taken for granted. Motherhood is taken for granted. Ki bacche to sabko hote hain. It's a very, I feel that, it's so magical that it should be talked about more. It should be appreciated more. And like these carnivals definitely need to happen because mothers are magical. They are actually giving birth, making life inside you. It's just the most beautiful phenomenon ever. And that we need to appreciate much, much more.
Lovely. You have been a fitness freak yourself, and I remember you got out your DVDs, also fitness DVDs, and you have been promoting self-love through fitness. How difficult was it for you to transition from that journey into pregnancy, where there were a little bit of restrictions in terms of your fitness, or then getting the food cravings, and being a Bengali, I'm sure you must have got a lot of sweet cravings also. Yeah. How did you manage all that?
Well, I have to say that when you decide to be a mother, something else takes over. You get tremendous strength in you. I definitely was a person who always liked my workouts, and I had to be like absolutely fit all the time. When I started my IVF, actually my doctors absolutely took that away from me. That was my power. I used to love to work out and be fit. So my doctors actually stopped me from any kind of workout. So that was a big challenge for a person like me because I was so used to being a part of that discipline. I had to actually relearn and say that it's okay. For my child, I need to step back and I'm not going to be working out. And throughout the IVF, I was not allowed to work out. And even my pregnancy was a inactive pregnancy. I had imagined, I would be one of those moms who will be doing yoga and who will do all kinds of workout. But I was actually on bed rest. And I couldn't work out the entire time. So for a person like me, it was a big challenge because I love working out. And to see my body change with IVF, initially it was like, okay, I'm going to tackle these hormones soon. But it is a struggle. But again, I say the give and take. I wanted my baby, and my baby is beautiful, and my struggle is on, postpartum. And I know I'm going to combat it sooner or later. And I'm definitely not the person who gives up, or I'm not the person who's like going to have excuses, oh, it's happened to me, You have to work hard. So it's a very natural phenomena. There are some women who are gifted, who can give birth and they look like, absolutely their old self immediately. Some women don't. And it's just, I think we need to be a little more Oh, wow. There's celebration for that. I think we need to be a little softer to ourselves as women. We need to be kind because we've done a great deal, you know, when you do IVF and then you give birth. And in our situation, we had much more to combat. Just giving birth was not the end. We were thrown into a little bit of a tough situation because of my child's condition for the first few months. So I didn't have any time to look after myself. I do believe that, you know, I was the biggest propagator of love yourself, but I think loving your child always comes just naturally to every mother before loving yourself. But as time has progressed, I do understand that I want to be the best role model for my child, and I want to see her mom work, see her mom look good, see her mom do things for herself so that she can learn the same. So the first affirmation I teach her before she goes to bed is like, I love myself the most. And she says it, you know, with her, in her own way. But yeah, so I want to instill that in her. But being a woman is amazing. It's tough. We are very strong. We are very resilient. And motherhood is like a superpower. And I know all of you will agree with me because it just makes you much stronger after you become a mother. That's my personal experience.
Great. So I think all the mothers sitting out here also deserve a round of applause.
Absolutely.
Great. So we also see a lot of couples, you know, getting into arguments, a little bit of tiff in pregnancy, especially because of the mood swings that women go through. So how did you manage that with Karan? Who was the one who would kind of, you know, make up for it? Or was Karan supportive enough to understand your mood swings and bear with it? How was that?
Well, I have to be, you know, I did something good in my life because I've got a wonderful husband. Generally, women take care of you during pregnancy, your mothers and sister. I think the way my husband took care of me, no one else could. Even my mother said, तुझे तो इतना अच्छा husband मिला है, मेरी क्या ज़रूरत है? Because he used to sit by my bedside because the first 4 months were very tough for me. I was like, you know, and this whole myth of morning sickness, I don't know who said it's morning sickness. It's like 24-hour sickness. It was unbelievable. So I was ready for the fact, okay, it could be a little bit. But I was sick 24 hours. I couldn't speak a word. I couldn't eat anything for the first 4 months. And he was by my side 24 hours. So I had a very patient, very loving, very affectionate husband who took care of me like a little baby. So he was like, I have 2 babies now. And even after Devi's born, like right now I can be here because on Mother's Day, my husband is being a mother and father both to her. And I'm comfortably here, far away from them, but wanting to race back to them. So I think it's a job for both mom and dad together. Though the mother's doing the heavy lifting by carrying the baby, I think the father also goes through a lot. You know, they go through a lot of emotions during pregnancy. And when they are transitioning into becoming a father, we should have more compassion for the men also, because there is a big change in their lives also. So I think the family should, when the child is born, everyone wants to just see the child first. So I feel there's a little more compassion that's required towards the mother who gives birth, and also the father who's transitioning into this new role of fatherhood and is taking care of the mom and the child. So I think that needs to happen a little more in India, because everyone only focuses on the baby.
Absolutely. I think it is important that fathers, you know, sometimes even fathers put on weight in pregnancy when the wife is
My
putting
husband
on
had
weight.
all the cravings. So all the jars of these khatta meetha things, I never had one. My husband was finishing jars, so I had to take the jars and give it to the watchman, give it to the girls. I'm like, please, kha lo ye, Karan sab kha le rahe, pata nahi kyun. So Karan had pregnancy cravings even after she was born, and I was like, I think it's time you stop. Yeah, I didn't have so much of cravings. Yeah.
Lovely. So the postpartum journey is where, you know, people don't talk about it much, but mothers, the whole change, the transition comes along with a lot of hormonal changes even in the postpartum period. And especially if the baby is not doing well or if the baby is born preterm or in some critical cases. In case of you, we understand that Devi was diagnosed with some cardiac issue and it was a tough time for you. Did you go through postpartum depression and how did you manage that postpartum journey of yours?
I think on the third day when she was born, we got to know about that she's born with 2 holes in her heart. And we kind of didn't accept it. So I went into this crazy stress mode of 45 days of no sleep at all. I was not sleeping at all. And Karan had to leave on the 5th day to shoot a film, which he had already, he tried to get out of it, but he couldn't. And that film is done well for him, Fighter. So I just really even though in our really lowest time, he put on a smiling face in front of the camera, and our job is tough, We have to smile even, when you're going through a heavy heart. So it's a tough job that we do as an actors. But, we were very clear after that, we have to be responsible parents. We have to act at the right time. So with, I say, belief, with knowledge about what your child is going through and the support of other mothers who went through similar situations, I think I took the correct call of getting her operated at the right time at 3 months. It's very tough for a mother to do that, get your little baby to get an open heart surgery. I had to handle Karan a lot because he was not being able to deal with the situation. But I say, as a mother, I got some kind of superpower and I was very strong and I knew nothing's going to happen to her. I knew that she's going to be fine. And God has been very kind. It's a one-time cure, and she was absolutely okay immediately after the operation. So, but the first 4 months, I can say, they were the toughest challenge of my life. I don't wish that any new parents have to go through something like that. It's so tough, because the child is so small, and you're so helpless as parents that you can't really you just don't believe that it's happening to your child. But again, I always say that always remember the end. She's absolutely fine. So it was, I think, and it made us stronger as parents. As a unit, I think me and Karan became even stronger. So I just want to tell anybody who's going through any difficult situation, any parents with your child, I think first thing is belief. You have to have this insane belief in the power of that, power of health. You have to believe that your child is healthy. And I think that is something that I totally believe in, that once you have to manifest it, you have to see it, and you'll achieve it.
Absolutely. And I think delivering your baby in the right kind of a setup where you get all the medical facilities, because especially in such cases where, there's any health condition that your baby might be going through, the timely diagnosis is something which is very, very important, and hence choosing the right hospital for delivery also makes a huge difference. Okay, now it's time for some rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
Rapid
wow.
fire. Everyone ready?
Am I going to get any
Amber?
gifts for it?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Great.
It's pretty hot.
So some energy in the audience before we start with the rapid fire.
They were a lovely audience, quietly listening to everything.
So are you ready? Louder? Once more?
Oh, God.
Great. So bedtime stories to Devi. Who reads them out, you or Karan?
Well, I can't boast enough. I'm an excellent story reader. Actually, when I tell Karan, you must try, and the moment he tries, Devi just shuts the book on his face. He's like, why do I even try? So I'm really good at it, so I definitely, it's me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Whom does she look more like, you or Karan?
Oh, anyone who looks at Devi says she's like dad, but all my childhood pictures are completely like Devi. So she's 50-50. The upper half is mine, eyes and nose are mine, and the lower part, the smile, everything. And the complexion is Karan's dad, so she's a mix. Yeah.
Who decided to name her Devi, you or Karan?
Well, Devi is a God's child. She's come after a lot of prayers. And like I said, belief. We went to Vaishno Devi. Somebody asked us to go to Vaishno Devi. And me and Karan had never been to Vaishno Devi. And they told Karan to write a letter because we really were trying for a baby. And Karan did write a letter. And it's so strange. Then eventually when I got pregnant, the first date of delivery was the date on which we had gone to Vaishno Devi a year before. So there was no question in our minds but to name her Devi. And both me and Karan have always dreamt of a baby girl in our minds. And we always knew that we are going to have a baby girl. So Devi was just something that came to both of us immediately, that she had to be named Devi. Yeah.
Okay. Devi's favorite food, is it cooked by you or by Karan?
None. I make the menu. I make the menu. Her didis make it. I make the menu. I make a very good balanced menu. And I have to say my child is one good child. She wants to eat all the vegetables, fish, everything. She eats everything. Yeah.
Great. Your first travel with Devi, when was it and where was it?
See, it took us some time actually because we were a little, after her operation, we were just anxious. There was no reason to be. But we traveled on her 8th-month birthday to Goa first. We said we'll do a short trip with her. And that's when I realized my child is exactly like us, loves the sun, loves the sea, loves the sand. She just wants to be in water all the time. So it's her 8th-month birthday we celebrated. And after that, we are only going to beach destinations. She doesn't want to get out of water. She loves the ocean, loves the pool. She's like a total water baby. Yeah.
Lovely. Okay, one advice that you would like to give to all the couples who are sitting here, because everybody, all the couples here are expecting. So what's that one advice that you would like to give to all the expecting couples here?
Well, I think every couple is different. Every individual is different. They know what to do. I'm no guru or anyone to advise anybody. But I can just share my own experience. I just wish that the husbands, especially, treat your woman like a queen because she deserves to. Because it's actually your baby also. She's doing the heavy lifting, but be there with her. Hold her hand, understand what emotion she's going through, because you need to be her best friend. I think that's just the two of you. It's a small world you need to make, just the husband, wife, and the baby. Just keep it small, and I just believe that, when the baby is in your belly, say good things around her, do affirmations, do a lot of singing. This is what we did. We have a very happy child, and I believe that, because what they sense, even when they are in your stomach, is what they become. So just keep happy energy around and just stay happy. And don't linger on to fights and arguments and disagreements for long. Talk it out fast. Finish it off.
Great. So, now that Momstory has completed 2 years, and this is also our second pregnancy carnival. So, would you like to say something about Momstory and this event?
I think I already said it, the fact that you guys are celebrating pregnancy and motherhood and giving the women the deserved platform when they are pregnant and pampering them and spoiling them and having this particular day for them, I think it's a fantastic thing, It's just like, I think everyone should do it. Like I said, motherhood is taken for granted. I think it needs to be celebrated not just one day. It needs to be celebrated like a lot more than what we do. Yeah.
Great. So we would now like to take up questions from the audience. Anyone from the influencers who would like to ask Bipasha something? Can we have the mic?
Hello, Bipasha.
Hi.
This is Abhilasha. So I have a question because you talked a lot about late pregnancy, how the things were critical and everything. So what do you think that because of this late pregnancy, these kind of conditions happen, and if you are looking so much about career and you are delaying your pregnancy, what about having to freeze the egg earlier, and what kind of opinion you are having?
Well, you have a lot of questions. All are very valid. Number one, I did not delay my pregnancy because of my career. I wanted to have a baby with my partner. I found my partner late in life, And then immediately I didn't want to have a baby because I believe that when you are bringing a life to earth, you need to be responsible together as a unit. So we needed time to evolve and become that. So that's one. We're talking about egg freezing. Yes, absolutely. I believe in today's time you need to freeze your eggs even faster. In your 20s is the best time. Because of the lifestyle, the environment, fertility is going down for women. It's very important. Egg freezing, I tell all my sisters and everyone that if you want to have a baby in future, you must do it. So egg freezing is definitely the way to go because it still doesn't guarantee you that you are going to have a good embryo. Even if you have 30 eggs, there is no guarantee. It also depends on the quality of life you lead, the body that you have, the lifestyle you have, lots of it, everything depends on that.
Anyone else from the audience who would like to ask something? We have somebody at the back raising her hand.
Yeah, hi, Bipasha. I'm Rishabh. Actually, unfortunately, my wife is not there. She is traveling, so I came alone. But my question is about how Karan manages, because I know that you people are traveling a lot, and my current job is, it requires a travel. So I have already a baby. We are expecting second, but earlier I was not traveling, but these days I used to travel a lot. So how you guys manage, because you both are used to travel basically?
Well, I have to say there is a perk of being an actor because we don't have a 9 to 5 job. So we can get to spend a lot more time with our child. And we had planned it in such a way that, we have worked a lot in our lives, saved quite a bit so that we can give her the time. That's one thing. I have that advantage. He has that advantage. But we always make sure that one of us is with our child no matter what. Like, both of us can't work on the same day. That's a given. He has to stay. If I'm working, he has to be with the baby. It's vice versa. So, and then there are the grandparents also. If me and Karan have to step out for a bit in the evening for some events, which we are not much of socializing people. We are very homebodies. But if we have to, then the grandparents step in. So we try to, manage like everyone manages, that's the way to be. But at all points, there has to be one family member with the baby always. So that's not something that we compromise on ever. And Karan's good. He's a good hands-on dad, but he had got a lot of training seeing me. So he tries his best, yeah.